Second gen 24 valve Cummins versus 40-yard dumpster that's about half to 3/4 full. Maybe we can make it happen. Let me know in the comment section down below. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. We are going to talk about the VP44 on the 24 valve Cummins. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it dying? I don't know. But Sunday we went and picked up our Christmas tree and then took a little trip to the grocery store to pick up groceries. And when we came out from the grocery store, well, the truck almost did not start. So to give you a little history lesson, a brief little rundown on the truck since I've owned it, right from the very get-go, as soon as I got the truck, I started to experience this little hiccup with it where it would have a hard start after it got warm. So obviously, not knowing much about diesels or the Cummins platform, because it's my first diesel truck, I start doing some Google searching, getting on the forums and looking around, and of course the only thing I see is your VP44 is dying, your VP44 is dying. Do you have codes for this? Do you have codes for that? Well, I don't have any codes. I don't have a check engine light. So we just started to replace things and kind of check the fuel system over, replacing filters and all that. And the problem kind of just went away and the truck would start fine after that. So we continued driving it and never had that problem again. But then it came back and it would stick around for a little bit and then it would disappear. And it's been an on and off thing now for a long time, since I very first picked up the truck and brought it home. Now, I've been a little hesitant to allow this issue to make me think that my VP44 is bad or possibly dying on me and that I'm gonna need to replace it. And that's because there's a couple different situations that could be going on as far as this problem is concerned. The first situation, we all know, the VP44 could be dying. It could have a bad diaphragm in it, therefore creating this hard start. The computer on the VP44, the electronic side of things, from heating up after having the wire tapped with the edge comp box on the truck, it could have heat soaked the electronics and therefore it could be causing these hard starts. The soldered connections within the computer on the VP44 become basically like crystallized and they start to not make good connections and it starts to freak the computer out and make it malfunction, and then you get these starting problems and stuff, and the VP44 basically is on its way out and will just die, leave you dead in the water somewhere on the side of the road. The other scenario would be that we are getting too much fuel pressure to the VP44 while we're trying to start the truck up from our Fass Platinum 150 aftermarket lift pump, because the way that these trucks are designed and set up, when you had the stock lift pump on the side of the engine, the ECM would basically send a signal to pulse that fuel into the VP44 so that it wasn't getting too much fuel pressure, and it would allow everything to start up nicely, and then it would get the truck running and you'd get your fuel supplied from your lift pump. But we know that these stock lift pumps on the trucks were garbage and they didn't supply enough fuel supply up to the VP44 to keep it cooled and lubricated properly, because the VP44 does need fuel as lubrication and to help keep it cool so that it will run and operate properly. So the aftermarket lift pumps are obviously the way to go, so you can get a good amount of fuel up to the VP44 and keep it happy, and hopefully it'll live a long life. The thing with the aftermarket lift pumps, the air dogs and the fasses, is when you are starting your truck, they are pushing fuel up through the system to the VP44 and they aren't able to get a signal from the ECM like the stock lift pump was to make it pulsate and kind of back that fuel pressure off. Therefore, it puts a lot of pressure on the pintle inside the VP44, which can cause these hard starting issues, especially when the truck is up to operating temperature and warm. That is kind of what I am feeling right now about my truck. There are a couple of tests that we can do to try and rule out some other things. One of the things that you can do is park your truck with the nose downhill and then try to start it, and then park it with the nose uphill and try to start it. And if it starts easily, with the nose downhill but not with the nose uphill, then most likely you probably have a bad O-ring on a connector tube, and you have to tear all that stuff apart and replace the O-rings, or you could just replace the connector tubes in general, and when you get the new ones they'll come with new O-rings. So that's one thing you can do to at least try and rule out that side of things. Another test you can do to try and kind of narrow things down more or less, and I'm going to show you footage of me doing this the other night, is you can get your truck up to operating temperature, let it sit for a little bit after you shut it off, like 30 minutes or so, go out, try to start it, and see if you get that long crank time and that hard start again. And then once the truck gets started, shut her down, pop the hood, and if you have your aftermarket lift pump already installed, your fass, your air dog, go up under the hood, pull the fuse out of the wiring harness to cut power to your lift pump, and then try to start your truck again. If the truck goes and fires right up after you pull the fuse out, it could be one of a couple different things. It could mean that the diaphragm in the VP44 is punctured, going bad, and that your VP44 is going to need to be replaced soon. Or it could mean that you are getting too much fuel pressure from your aftermarket lift pump and not allowing that pintle in the VP44 to open and close properly. When I did the test with the lift pump and pulled the fuse out, the truck cranked for a few seconds the first time, and then once I pulled the fuse out, the truck fired right up. Now, here's why I am leaning kind of towards the fact that we might be getting too much fuel pressure at the VP44 when we're trying to start the truck. I've had this truck for a long time now, and like I said earlier in the video, I've experienced this issue since buying the truck and bringing it home. If for whatever reason the VP44 was the cause of this issue, and I've been experiencing this stuff now for well over a year, on and off, the VP44 would have definitely most likely died a long while back. It would not have held on this long, at least I don't think. I've heard stories from other guys that their VP44 has kind of been a little finicky and on its way out and kind of held on for however many miles or whatever, and then finally crapped the bed. But let's face it, we all know these pumps to be real touchy, real picky, and when they start to go south, they go south. They'll usually end up tripping a code, giving you a check engine light, and they're not going to hold on for well over a year after they've been having a problem and giving you trouble with your truck, whether it be starting trouble, dead pedal, loss of power while you're driving, whatever the case may be. The VP44 most likely is not going to hang on that long. It's probably going to most likely end up dying sooner than later. That's why I'm just having trouble coming to terms with the fact that it is probably the VP44 that's causing this issue. Now, I could be 100% wrong. I might have a VP44 that is on its way out, but because we are getting sufficient fuel supply and I keep it lubricated with fuel treatment products and stuff, maybe those things are kind of helping it hold on a little bit and giving us some extra life. But I don't have a check engine light. I'm not getting any type of codes in the truck at all, and the truck has no difference in drivability. We're not losing power. It's not running funny or bad or anything like that. So if we did have a problem with the VP44, whether it be the computer, the rotor is seized up, if the rotor was seized up, the truck just wouldn't start at all. So if it were the diaphragm is kind of punky and starting to go out, or the computer is having issues and kind of heat soaked and the solder connections are crystallized in the electronics of the VP44, if we had any of those issues, we would probably be seeing it in the performance of the truck, and I am not seeing any loss of performance in my truck, which is why it's pushing me down the road to think that we are just getting too much pressure at the pump when we're trying to start the truck. Now, there is a solution for that and something that we can do to see if it helps and clears up the issue, and then we kind of just live with that and see what type of results we get after a few weeks or months or whatever after we do this fix. And that fix would be to wire in another relay to the wiring harness of our Fast Platinum 150 on the truck. and basically that relay is going to go in between the fass and the relay that comes in the wiring harness on the fass. So you want to put that relay in, and then you hook it all up to a power source that only gets power once the truck is on and running and the key is back to the run position. So basically we'll cut power to the fass pump or the air dog pump when you are starting the truck, so you're not sending fuel pressure up to the VP44, and therefore you're not getting too much pressure at the injection pump, and your truck will not have that hard starting issue. So I think we're gonna try and get that relay and get it all hooked up and see what it does, see what type of results we get. Because the truck did fire up nicely when I pulled the fuse out and we cut power to the fass platinum, I think it's worth the effort to wire in this second relay and see if that clears up the issue, or if the issue might come back. And if the issue comes back after we get this other relay in, then that will be my definite answer that we are probably going to have to replace the VP44 sooner than later. But if we put this relay in and it just clears up the issue and the truck stays running nice and we don't get this issue back, then I guess we found our trouble spot, and it was too much fuel pressure at the VP44. So that's just a little history of me experiencing this issue with my truck since I very first picked it up, and why I don't feel 100% comfortable thinking that my VP44 is dying just yet. Because yes, there are signs there that could say that it is dying, but there's plenty of other signs there that say that it probably isn't dying. So it's like, I don't know, it's a crapshoot, man. And I guess the thing with the VP44 is you never really know until you know. And when it just dies and your truck won't start and run anymore, well, that's when you know. To all my OG subs and the guys who are on here making use of this platform and helping one another, commenting back and forth, and thoroughly enjoying the videos that they're watching, thank you guys so much for your support. You guys are the real MVPs. If you guys could do me that favor though and hit that thumbs up button for me on your way out, I would greatly appreciate that. If you are new, stopping in for the first time, and you want content, you want to learn, you want to be a part of this awesome family we have here on Pure Panorama, hit that subscribe button and join the family. We welcome you with open arms here. Don't forget to check out all the links that I've made for you guys down in the video description for tools and parts. I've taken the time to do that for your convenience, so you can easily find them and get what you need. If you see something here that I use on the truck or for the truck, something I install on the truck, it's all down there so that you guys can go find it and get it if you want it. So check those links out, and I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow with another new video. See ya.